Hey everyone, CWD Music Reviews here. I'm CWD and this is going to be a music review of the new Mitski album, Puberty 2. Mitski is a singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, and this is her latest full-length album. Now, I can't say that I've been that familiar with this New York-based musician's previous albums, but I did catch her at a set in Shaky Knees last year. Her set was really cool. It was definitely really vibrant, unnerving, and really interesting to watch as Mitski with her pink bass that was as big as she was, pretty much just delivering all these really energetic tunes. Some of which are not so energetic, but I still enjoyed those quite a bit within the live setting, especially her closing song during that set where it was just her and a guitar drone singing over that, and that was really invigorating to watch. So I was definitely interested if she was going to be putting out a new album, and now that she has and it's been made first listen on NPR, I thought, yeah, I'll definitely try this out. I didn't see any reason why I wouldn't at least get some kind of enjoyment out of this project. And I did, but the thing about this album is I'm not listening to the woman that I was so captivated by with her brooding demeanor and all of that for 40 minutes. I'm listening to like Apocalypse era Chelsea Wolfe for about 31. So as mentioned, this album is about 31 minutes in length, about 11 tracks. A good chunk of these tracks range somewhere between 2 to 3 minutes, so these aren't going to really drive your patience in a way. So I do gotta give it to Mitski for that. She's definitely able to pack all these ideas into 31 minutes without it sounding like a mess or anything of that nature. I do have the complaint that some of these tracks, particularly Your Best American Girl, Crack Baby, and maybe Thursday Girl, the recording just sounds so lo-fi and not to its benefit. It gets to the point where I'm not even 100% sure if Your Best American Girl is a favorite track of mine, but it probably is, given like the way the soft dynamic presents itself on this track before really amping up the blaring guitar on the chorus and like this really emotional singing Mitski does that I enjoy quite a bit. But other than that, a good chunk of the time, the recording just seems so distracting. Like, you could definitely hear that this was being done on like a shitty recorder of some kind. But as far as like the compositions go, there's two types of tracks on this album. One that sounds like a Mitski track, and the other that doesn't sound all that much like Mitski, more so, like I mentioned, Chelsea Wolfe. On the latter half, you got tracks like Once More to See You, I Bet on Losing Dogs, which is a weird track lyrically. Pretty much her saying that she's betting on these dog races and she knows that some of these dogs are going to lose anyway, but for some reason she bets on them on the basis that she wants to see the look of misery on their eyes and know how that feels, which is pretty disjointed in terms of poetic nuance. The only track I think the whole Chelsea Wolfe thing like particularly works well for her is Crack Baby. This is a really haunting track, pretty much, I guess, being allegorical about the lives and psychological states of a crack baby. The chorus pretty much saying how the crack baby doesn't know what it is they want, but they know that they had it at some point and they know that they need it, which is pretty peculiar. It's definitely a clever and really disturbing song there lyrically. That's really it in terms of tracks that do this Chelsea Wolfe thing that I'm into. The closing track of Burning Hill does the same exact thing with like this solo acoustic guitar and like this dark and really demented and really haunting type vibe, but it just ends in like such anticlimactic fashion. But there are definitely tracks here that are demonstrating some interesting ideas, certainly the ones that sound like a Mitski track. Take for example the opening track, Happy. Really interesting song in terms of personifying happiness in a way. Pretty much using happiness as a lover, that she wants to enter her physically and, emotionally, which is pretty peculiar. I definitely like this ambient synth hanging in the background. There's some like weird ass saxophone that comes up that makes this lo-fi sound work. I can say the same about the track My Body's Made of Crushed Little Stars, which is like this hybrid of noise music, folk music, blues music, and punk music all just coming together into like this brief-ish song. I like some of the lyrics here, like where she's like saying that she wants to see the world, but she can't pay rent. Plus the hook here is pretty on edge. Kill me, Jerusalem. The track A Loving Feeling is definitely a peculiar track. She's pretty much saying how what good is a loving feeling if the loving feeling is what makes them feel alone. This track in particular is like a gothic magnetic field song, and it works with like the folky and really upbeat type of instrumentation going on as it's being funneled into this lo-fi lens. But that's really it though. A good portion of the time it's doing this really brooding, dark, ambient thing that I've just heard it done better. Not to say that these like attempts are bad or anything, they're just decent and okay. If you're already a Mitski fan, or if you're interested in Mitski, then do definitely give this a try. You'll probably like it a lot more than me. Though me personally, I think Mitski had a moment to finally ensnare me, but I don't think she does that fully with this particular album. Maybe if like a good chunk of the tracks here were better fleshed out, or at least better recorded, I'd have a different opinion. I'm pretty picky about my female singer-songwriters, and I can't say Mitski's doing anything that's gonna stick with me for the remainder of the year. This album is a +0.8 out of +3. If you like this style of music, if you like your gothic type music, if you like your singer-songwriters to have a lot of angst to them, then yeah, do check this out. You'll get something out of it. But if you've given this album a listen, what'd you think of it? Did you like this album? Did you dislike this album? What was your reasoning for that? And what should I consider listening to and reviewing next? This is CWD Music Reviews here, signing off.